Here I am in the woods on the brand new CFMOTO Ibex 450. Today we're doing our first ride, and sharing the beautiful day with us is the infamous Graceful Renagade on her lovely, newly purchased Honda CRF 300L Rally. Don't know where she got that idea, but it was a good one.
I don't know who told me to do that.
So I have a confession to make. It is the first ride in a video, but I did take it out once before, and I'd like to tell you this is from that, but no. This is from adjusting the clutch and then screwing around in my yard. I dropped it and broke the lever and broke the plastic handguard, which I was going to replace anyway, but that just goes to show they suck, because with metal handguards, that lever wouldn't be broken. No, it's also the first ride for my Liat 9.5 helmet, now that it's all set up with my Cardo and my camera and my brake free on the back. Let's go do some dumb stuff like ride ATV Trails. So, some thoughts on the ride out here, and honestly, I'm getting close to 100 miles, actually over 100 miles on this bike now. This is the first real off-road test. I just did some gravel roads before and just some highway. I'm trying to get some miles on it so I can change the oil before I go to Death Valley. I'm hoping to take it, but first impressions when you start riding this thing, I will tell you the power delivery is so different than that Himalayan I just got done with. You know, it's a twin. It's so much peppier and quicker feeling, and the sound is amazing. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to get you a good example. I don't know how it's going to sound in the helmet. Yeah, it's only when you get really into it that you can really hear that throaty intake. It sounds amazing. The stock windscreen is a little too low for highway riding, but that could be because I got the rally seat, and so I'm up an inch or more higher than I normally would be. So the buffeting just hits me right here. Yesterday, or the other day when I was riding, I just cranked the windscreen all the way down because I'd just rather be in the naked air. It's nice that you can do that one-handed while you're riding. Very adjustable. I think that's a nice touch. Way to go, CFMOTO. I will say this, one thing I'm noticing. The fueling on and off, it's very snatchy, and I don't mean that in a vulgar way. It's very twitchy and snatchy. It reminds me of the 450L when I first got it, before I had the engine mods done, before I had the ECU replaced. So my guess is it's, you know, as it breaks in, it's going to smooth out some, but I've also seen a few complaints in the groups about abrupt fueling. So an ECU flash might be a thing to consider, because a lot of that is just because of emissions. You can actually fix it and get more performance for a small trade-off in emissions. Not that I'm advising you to do anything illegal. My favorite feature of all the features is the push button go into off-road mode, which shuts off traction control and the rear ABS, and you just push the same button again to go back in, and you can do it while you're moving, although it's kind of inconsistent with, I don't know if you have to close the throttle, pull in the clutch or what, but you can get them both to kick on while you're moving. You just have to close the throttle or do something. I haven't really figured it out yet. The 790 is like that. You have to close the throttle before it'll change the mode, so that could be what it is. I put the Tusk 2-track tires on it. They're taller than the stock tires. It's a narrower, taller tire, and it's noticeable. Like, getting my feet down is a very different proposition now since I put those tires on. So the rally seat is fine. I can get my feet down fine, but it's not the flat-footed confidence I had before. So, or I may experiment with the other seat a little bit now that the new tires are on. The rally seat is definitely more comfortable, though. It's cushier. This thing is a blast to ride. It rips. It really feels like a small Tenere. I think that's what people keep saying. This thing has got a ton of stuff that you don't see on more expensive bikes. It's got 2 USB ports built in. I've had to add USB ports to I can't tell you how many bikes. That was a dead rat or something. These mirrors are foldable. Stock mirrors are foldable, and they're good. I can see behind me really well. Shocking. Like, this is the first bike I haven't immediately wanted to put double takes on, so that is something, I'll tell you that. Stock skid plate isn't great. If you saw my mods video, you saw it's better than nothing, but if you were to hit hard on anything, you're gonna ding it and potentially your exhaust or whatever's underneath. So I'm glad I got the upgraded skid plate from CFMOTO. I got a bunch of their stuff. The high fender, I feel like, you know, maybe I'm not ever gonna hit mud that deep, but I also prefer the look of the high fender and just the way it clears out, so I put that on. I really like the display. It's nice and crisp. I think I'm gonna get a screen protector for it, because if I remember right, the demo bike that I was using in South Dakota last year was like scratched up, and I think when you get to like wiping dust off of it, I think it might be soft enough to scratch. We'll find out, but I'd like to just put something on there so that I'm scratching the screen protector and not the bike screen that I'll have to look at forever. It is a blast to ride. It is very light feeling. It feels light when you move it around the garage. I know maybe nobody else cares about that as much as I do, but it's crazy the difference moving this and moving that, the Himalayan. And they just weigh their weight so differently that it just feels very different. I like the look and feel of this Ibex a lot. It's more of a me bike. I think the Himalayan's great, and I think that retro style is great, but it's also not my personal favorite. I much prefer a bike like this. And we're out here with Grace. What's this? Oh, that's clouds. I thought it was like smoke from someone riding up there. We're gonna go up to the top so you can get a close-up look at that cloud that we're just below. I probably should switch out of... Okay, TC, yeah, ABS is off. Okay, got it. All right, let's go up. The stock suspension is very stiff, and the settings, when you get it, are right in the middle. So it could be twice as stiff because it's got 20 settings and it's right at 10, which is very interesting to me. Oh yeah, we're gonna go right up into the cloud. That really looks like smoke. So I'm gonna crank it down some because it feels pretty deflecty and pretty stiff. Which is, saying something when you have a rider as heavy as me on board, I feel like. So, that's good. That bodes well. It's a heavy-duty suspension. It's a nice suspension. Same company that makes the suspension on the new DRZ. It's a KYB. Too bad you can't see the view, because it's all just freaking clouds. But there is one, I promise. It's nice. You've seen it before. I come up here all the time. Oh, there she is. There's the Grace. Look at her coming up through the clouds. Look at her. What a champion. What a freaking champion. Bro, you're a champion. You're a champion. Crushing it. The wind is swirling here. Coming up the valley. We're in the foothills of the Cascades, so like there's Jefferson and Three Sisters. It's gorgeous up here. Quite a contrast, like, with the clouds and the no clouds. Oh, the other thing that's annoying about this bike is one of the things I complained about when I test rode it is that when you go to use the clutch, I flick this high beam switch all the time. I may literally file it down like a little bit so it's just not so long. So I only hit it when I mean to, because when I'm wearing big gloves, you hit it a lot. Yeah, that fueling is definitely snatchy. I need to be in third anyway, but... How does it do with some speed on some bouncy stuff? God, it just floats though. What a machine. I can't believe this bike is only $6,500. I can't believe I don't have my face shield down because I'm stupid and I love getting stuff in my eyes. Like, you just got them fixed, dude. Quit screwing them up. Don't be dumb. Yeah, look at this. It's so funny. Like, we have to go right into the cloud. What a neat thing to do. Visibility is 0. Try not to lose Grace when I turn because she's not going to be able to see where I went. That 300L is the perfect bike for her. I'm so glad she got it. What a contrast from the other side, right? Gotta love the valley. What is that bright burning thing in the sky?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it in months. Man, it's a good thing I brought my flying eye shades. It may be winter, but spring and summer are coming soon. Make sure you pick up a pair of the best sunglasses for motorcycling. The flying eye shades. Promo code Dork in the road will save you 10%.
Are you afraid to buy expensive, nice sunglasses because you're a clumsy lummox like me and you're constantly breaking stuff? Well, you're gonna love flying eyes. Check this out. Now I'm gonna go get my dirt bike. See that? Look at unscathed. These are the most flexible, durable, and comfortable sunglasses for motorcyclists. They fit under your helmet, no problem. I am excited to recommend to you the best sunglasses for motorcycling, whether on or off-road. Check out the link in the description and use promo code Dork in the road to save 10%
on a myriad of different styles and options. Link in the description. God, it's really bouncy though. It's really bouncy. I definitely got to get the suspension adjusted. Set up for me. Stock is real bouncy. The rebound and the preload, I think, in the front is like really high. Got to mess with that before I go to the very rockiness that is Death Valley. for sure. Oh, the power is nice. It's just like, it does a really good job of making a lot of power down low and in the middle where you need it. It definitely, like, you know it's a 450 when you're going 70, but before then, you know, it's easy to forget. If it's very tend to rate E up into a certain RPM and speed. Yeah. Man, I could see railing this trail. Oh, this is great dirt today. It's hero dirt. Just a little damp, and they got all this drainage fixed, so it's not so puddly and muddy. And then my favorite part is the exit. It's the reason I always go down this one instead of up. It's not too bad, but I don't like turning on a steep hill. I'm not as good at it as I'd like to be. Well, you got to maintain your momentum, you know. Boy, it does not look steep from down here, but when you're coming down, it sure as hell does. Hey! Nailed it. So the suspension, I think, is the thing that's limiting me from going a little faster right now. But again, it is remarkable how stiff it is for a cheap bike. Pretty happy with it, honestly. There's another similarly easy trail right down here. So I know this is not the most difficult trail riding, and I don't have any interest in taking this bike on the most difficult trail riding, so if that's what you came for, not gonna happen. But it is a good sense, a good test, a good way to get a sense of how it's gonna do. Yeah, first gear is too twitchy for this, so we'll just go in second. The gears are pretty tall. It feels like they're pretty close together, so that shouldn't be too hard. You can start off in second. I started off in third the other day. But, oh man, yeah, this is way drier. This is some real nice traction, actually, until you hit the roots up here, which I'm not gonna go that far up. And the mud hole right there. Whoa! I love these tires, man. Pretty glad I put them on. But for some people who buy a bike like this might be the hardest thing they ever do. So I just want you to see how easy it does on something that on a road would be mildly difficult if you encountered it. Oh yeah, dude, I like this bike a lot. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. There's Grace. That's such a good bike for her. Pretty happy with it. Happy for her. There's some mud right there, but there's very little. I can't believe how dry these trails are. Okay, sitting down this time. Still gonna want second gear though, I'm guessing. These trails are not directional, so I never fully commit. Not that I have a lot more speed anyway, but just in case somebody's coming around, particularly when I need the left line to make my corner at speed. That's muddier than I was hoping for. Yeah, this thing is great. Like, easy to ride and approachable, but man, it's pretty capable feeling. Like, again, it's one of those bikes that could take you from your first bike to your first BDR and honestly last you forever if you just don't really want to do a ton of long highway rides, because it's got plenty for everything else. I mean, that's my assumption. It's my initial impression, obviously. Ooh, slippery roots. I haven't ridden it, more than 100 miles in addition to what I did in the Black Hills. But whoa, get forward. You're sliding the front around in ways that you don't want to be. The bouncy one again. Ooh, that front is all over the place. Ooh, that skid plate's doing its job, so that's good. Love it. Zero faith in the traction so far, but loving the machine. Dump, rocket up down. So she went in, good. I was wondering if she would. up to the mountain. Definitely should have had the 360 cam out today. I don't know why I didn't do that. The puddles are even dry, man. So weird. Oh, maybe it's cleared up some. We'll see. Rocks, 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 rocks. Ooh, well, ish, I think, ish, yeah. So you can tell you're on a mountaintop, but you can't see the valley below. It's so neat up here because you're right on the edge of the valley. You can kind of see it, like there. This is just such a great spot for pictures when it's not a cloud, but it's winter. What are you going to do? It's a miracle it's not pouring down rain right now. It's so loose, I'm never sure if I'm going to get out of there. You just kind of got to go. I could see myself getting very comfortable on this thing. It's fun. It's so fun. It's the funnest fun I've ever funned. Single track test, final test. This is wide single track, but there's a much tighter single track up there. You're just gonna have to trust me. Yeah, they really widened this out the last year. This part is much nicer than it used to be, but the end is still very single tracky. Yeah, this is where I almost crashed the Transalp into a tree, and that was when I decided that the Trail Max raids were not for me. Literally right there at that spot, because I hit that mud pit and slid and was like inches away from smashing that windshield into a tree. And it was no bueno. It's very, very slickery in here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's real mud. Gotta love it. This is the real single track that I referred to, alluded to really, earlier. I gotta get out first. What am I doing? I love this section. So fun. Dallas, you'd be so proud of me for leaning correctly. Yeah, I don't like that one standing up. Yeah, this thing, it's a blast. It definitely feels very light. It doesn't feel like a dual sport, like everyone's like, is it the Unicorn that feels like a dual sport? No. But it definitely feels like an incredibly light adventure bike, the likes of which I haven't really ridden. So, you know, time will tell, but pretty happy with it at the moment. So at the end of the first real kind of off-road test of the new Ibex, you know, a little bit of everything, some trails, some fast gravel, some single track, some bunch of pavement to get here, obviously. I am still very impressed with it. It feels remarkably solid top to bottom in terms of build quality and also just the really solid suspension. My biggest complaints right now are the stock suspension, at least in stock settings, is overly stiff. At least for the speeds I'm currently riding. Maybe if I was going faster, that wouldn't be the case. Flicking the frickin' switch on and off all the time. Accidentally hitting the bright switch all the time is annoying. I honestly didn't notice the fueling being so bad back there as I thought I would when I was kind of crawling and up and down the slow stuff. So maybe I'm just overstating that, or it matters right now, but not when you're using the clutch in conjunction with it. I wasn't really feeling like I was getting dumped over the bars, so we shall see. But lots of content to come here on the Ibex. I have a ton of videos in mind. I got a ticket moto camping, obviously. There's a build video already. There's the new bike day video if you haven't seen it, and that's all in the Ibex 450 playlist, which you should go check out if you haven't, and also maybe subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future additions to the Ibex playlist if you're interested in this bike or just general moto camping, ATV riding, dual sport stuff in general. I said general twice. I want to say thanks once again to CFMOTO for getting me this bike to use and enjoy, and also to Flying Eyes for sponsoring this video and the channel and protecting my eyes all summer long. Link to the Flying Eyes site where you can use my promo code Dork in the road to save 10% is in the description. But for now, and as always, and for grace, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!
Look at that majestic beast.